Let me tell you a story about why you should do your most important task early on in the day. So here's what happens to me this morning. I have my breakfast with my coffee and I sit down and I ask myself, Peter, what are we going to work on today? And I identified that the number one most important task is to work on an outline for a course. I'm going to be collaborating with a really cool community, a really cool course library, website, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to be doing a productivity course for them for independent creators. So I'm really excited about that, and I'll share more details about that later. When I make a course, one of the first steps is create a course outline, and then I wrestle with the course outline a little bit. So I already created an outline for this productivity course, but now my most important task for today was review this course outline, go over it, improve it, because this is an iterative process. Okay, so I said that, and then there were some other things that I wanted to do today. When I was about to start working, I checked my email. Already, don't do that, big no-no. So if you want to be productive, right? So I checked my email and I see that an email came in. Who's this email from? It's from some random guy who emailed me like a year ago. Was like, hey, I own peteruckes.com. So my website lives on peteruckes.net, but he was like, hey, I own peteruckes.com. Would you like to buy it from me? Kind of a shitty thing to do because it's my name, but whatever. And I'm thinking, yeah, I want that. So this was like a year ago, and I said, I'm interested. And then I didn't hear from him for a long time. And so recently I heard again from this guy, and he was like, hey, are you still interested in buying this domain? And I was like, sure, I'll buy it. So this morning I just received an email from him that's like, hey, I set it all up with this escrow website called escrow.com. Just go create an account there and pay me the money, and then I'll transfer you the domain. So I was like, you know what? This is not my most important task of the day, but let's just bang it out, right? Let's just get it out of the way. So, the big reasoning error there. So what I do is I was like, okay, I really should be working on the course outline. That's my most important task for today. But let's quickly bang out this task, and make sure that this transfer of the domain of peteruckes.com to me starts, that we start that process. So I log on to escrow.com and I create a website. I'm thinking this is going to take me like 3 minutes. I log on and I create an account. That's fine. But I try to pay for this domain transfer. So by the way, what escrow.com does is the guy owns the domain. I want the domain. They just sit in the middle and just make sure that he has transferred the domain to me and that I have paid. And so it's just like a safety mechanism for the transaction so you don't get scammed. And so I create my account, and then escrow.com is like, okay, by the way, we just need to verify some information. I'm like, okay, I guess this is going to take a little bit longer. I have to upload a bank statement, so now I got to go into my bank app, export a statement, put it on my desktop, on my computer, or on my phone, go grab it on my computer, right? Upload it to the escrow.com website. Then they're like, okay, what about your business? We also need some information that you're the owner of the business that you claim to be. And I was like, fine, grab a document, find it on my hard drive, upload it. Okay, now I try to pay. Go and pay by credit card. Credit card not accepted. What the hell? This is something I've been dealing with recently. My credit card is not accepted on all websites, so go grab my phone, talk to the bank support, and I'm like, hey, my credit card is not working again. By the way, what's the status of this support request that I put in a month ago and the one that I put in 2 months ago about my credit card not working everywhere? Fine. Let's try paying by PayPal. So I try paying for the domain transfer by PayPal. Nope, rejected. Okay, fine. I'll try pay with a bank transfer. Great. Go to my app, the bank app, try to initiate a bank transfer. They're like, you know what? Our international bank transfers, wire transfers, run through this company called Wise, which used to be called TransferWise. You got to sign into your TransferWise account, but it's got to be with the same email address as your bank account is listed under. And I was like, okay, fine. I have a TransferWise, now called Wise account. So I check what email address that's listed under. Of course, it's a different email address. So I go over to wise.com, log in, want to change my email address. They're like, hey, before we can help you, can you just answer some questions to verify your identity? I'm like, so this is getting more and more difficult. And it's taking longer and longer. Now, I was thinking this was going to take just 3 minutes. So I update my email address after answering their questions. Now I go back to my bank app, connect my bank app to Wise. Now I got to go to my password manager. In my password manager, make sure that I change TransferWise to Wise so that the password when I log in for my password manager, can be filled in on wise.com rather than only on transferwise.com. Make sure to change my email address for the account that I have with Wise that's listed in my password manager. Now they're connected. Now I go into my bank app, try and transfer the money, copying and pasting all the bank address, which is on Wall Street, literally, by the way, very funny. for escrow.com so that I can send escrow.com the money so that that guy can then, give me the domain. I get an error message, have to do it again. Finally, the money is sent. And so this whole thing must have taken me 30 minutes or 45 minutes. In programming, in software development, they call this yak shaving. So that's why I got my razor here, because apparently when you're like shaving a yak, you'll shave one layer and then another layer of fur will appear. So this is what happened to me, right? Yak shaving, the classic programming definition is you've got a problem. You're trying to solve it. But then when you solve it, you discover that when you're trying to solve it, you discover you first have to solve some other problem. So then you go solve that other problem. You realize that to do that, you have to solve yet another problem. So you're going like a bunch of layers deep, which is like shaving yaks because a new layer of fur shows up every time. Yak shaving is one of those things that can happen when you're working on any task. And because this is a thing, you want to make sure that you're working on your most important task early on in your day, because you don't know what's going to happen in the rest of your day. You may have to deal with some yak shaving. People may email you and interrupt you and need something urgently. If you really want to make sure that you're doing your most important work, right? Which that's what you should be doing. That's what productivity is all about, right? Getting those key tasks in. Do them early on in the day. When I say early on in the day, I don't mean 5 a.m. or whatever time. Early on in your day, whenever your day starts, try to start with the most important work. Don't try to, just do it, man. That's my tip for today. Hope you like my story. Maybe I introduced you to the concept of yak shaving. Hey, have a great day.